Hi, I'm Jesse Lee Peterson, host of TheFallenState, and I have some very important update to share with you guys. Oh, the paywall going up. We've been doing TheFallenState for over 6 years now. And over those 6 years, we have the opportunity to interview the likes of Roseanne Barr, Monique, Amber Rose, Dennis Prager, and many, many others. Since the show started, we've always made the content free for everyone. The paywall going up. Now is the chance to show your support and appreciation for TheFallenState by becoming channel members. Go to our YouTube channel and hit the join button. If you're an iPhone user, go to youtube.com/TheFallenState TV/join to become a member, or click the link in the description and follow the instruction below. You can also support us on the new conservative-friendly platform, Locals, by going to jesseleepeterson.locals.com and become a member today. Oh, the paywall going up. Thank you in advance. I appreciate it. Mamma mia. Hola. Gracias.
Most days I would sit in the bathroom and turn the lights off and try to make like a key ball.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, I would sit and I was like meditating. I swear to God I made a key ball once. There was a serious time in my life where I literally thought that I might be able to make key balls and blast them at people.
Dude, you should never have given this up.
When times get tough, you need to get down. No need to look backward, put your feet on the ground. Stand up, stand up.
Welcome to TheFallenState. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. TheFallenState is now on locals.com. So click the link in the video description to support our work. And I do appreciate it. Appreciate it very, very, very much. I have with me Chris O'Connor. And Chris is an actor, comedian, and co-host of the Stuff Island podcast. The Stuff
right.
Island podcast. How did you come up with that name?
I put stuff into a business name generator, and then that came back. And me and my buddy thought it was funny, so we went with it.
And so, how long have you been a comedian, and how did you get into that?
I've been a comedian for about 10 years. I got into it. It's kind of something that I always wanted to do, but never really knew how to get started. Was also just scared of doing it. And then I had a good buddy of mine who convinced me to start going to some open mics, and he went with me to offer some moral support. And then I kind of just started doing it, and then I really enjoyed it and just stuck with it. And then it just kind of becomes your life, I guess.
Amazing. And so, have you ever done this stand-up in Los Angeles at the, or maybe Hollywood, at the Comedy Club?
I have not. I've never been. I did a theater in LA once back in the fall for that Netflix is a joke thing. But outside of that, just a couple like local bar shows and stuff. I've been to the Comedy Store a bunch, but never done any stand-up there.
Oh, I see. So when you say you were afraid at first, what were you afraid of?
Yeah, I think when you're starting out, when you're thinking about doing it, you have this feeling that like if you do it once and it goes badly, that will just be your reputation forever, you know, and you'll never recover from that. So you're just so scared that the first time you do it, it's got to be like, you know, perfect. And that I think gets in the way of just starting. And then you realize you can fail a bunch and turn things around. Yeah.
And so were you in high school, were you funny? Were you class clown or anything like that?
No, I feel like I was funny. My friends and I felt like we were all funny, but no, I was definitely not a class clown. I think I was mostly just kind of like I was an athlete and just kind of a regular guy.
And so
Yeah.
so it wasn't something growing up that you thought you wanted to do as a career or anything.
Oh no, it was. It was like I remember seeing Chris Rock when I was a kid, and just his style of comedy felt like the way that my dad was funny, the way my brother was funny, the way he was like building jokes. They were almost like arguments. And I remember just seeing, it like blew me away that was even possible, that was like a possible career.
Yeah.
But I didn't, no one in my family was like artists. There was no like, no one had any roadmap as to how to get into that. And then there's just that background fear that you're like, yeah, I think I'm funny and I feel like I could write a stand-up joke, but can I really do it? Yeah, just it's a hard thing to get into.
Amazing. So what's important to you?
What's important to me?
Yeah, I often wonder about comedian. What's, behind the jokes and blah, blah, blah. When the lights are out, what's important to you when you're not on stage?
I think more and more it's becoming having like really good friendships and stuff, and having like a close group of people that I trust and trust me and I enjoy working with. And yeah, I think that's become kind of my focus. I think that's, yeah.
So do you want to get married one day and have children?
Yeah, definitely.
And why do you want that?
It feels like, on a recent podcast, I just had a big argument with a couple of my buddies about this. But it seems like a project that I'd like to be a part of. That's a really sterile way of saying it, but it's like, I like the idea of committing to somebody and really, having kids, investing in them, growing with them. I feel like there's something in that experience that's valuable and would change me for the better. And I feel like when it's all said and done, when I'm on my deathbed, I think that would be like something that I would have liked to have accomplished, as opposed to just living for myself the whole time. And
so when you say it would change me for the better, what is it about you that needs to change?
I think there's things when you're like a single guy, when you're doing comedy, you're traveling a lot. Life is very fun. I don't have a whole lot holding me down. But I think that can be, in some ways, like a little too easy of a way to live. I would really I think like I was saying before about being like a better friend, being more like committed to my friends and stuff like that. I feel like I could do a better job of just showing up for people.
Oh, okay. So
I feel like having a family can bring that out of you.
Amazing. You are a millennial, right?
I guess. What's the age group again? I got no idea.
What's the age group? No one knows. I think. I don't know either. I think it's in the 30s, though. I think it ends in the 30s.
Sure.
It's hard for millennials to find a woman that would be worthy of a good wife and a good mother, because women today are totally insane. Have you noticed that?
Well, I feel like that's like an ages-old situation, right? The hot, crazy ones are the most fun to be around, but the ones that make good parents maybe have a little bit of a different energy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there's plenty of good women out there. I've met them.
You met a good woman?
Yeah. Have you?
Never. No such thing as a good woman.
There's no such thing?
No.
Wow.
How is there no such thing?
Yeah, how could that be possible?
Because if you notice, women are angry, controlling, They are on an ego trip. They're very insecure and emotional.
Yeah, I've hung around a few of those women. Yeah, you've never met one that isn't.
No,
Where are you hanging out, man? You gotta
all over the
you gotta
place.
broaden your horizon. Yeah. You
So-
haven't found one that isn't angry and controlling.
Right. And you?
Yeah.
And what was it about the one you met that made her good? Because there's no such thing as a good woman. What is it about the one you met that made her good?
Well, she wasn't angry. She wasn't controlling. She was, a really intelligent person. She was great to like talk to. She was thoughtful, insightful, and yeah, was let me live my life.
Well, why did you
had a
marry her?
life of her own. I guess I just didn't have the good sense to do it.
You regret not marrying her?
Yeah, I think. Well, there's also like I'm in a little bit of a phase of my career where I'm focusing on the work, so that can become tough. Where
Oh.
it's like this person's a good person, they would be a great fit, but you have all these other sort of obligations and commitments and goals, and it can interfere with your ability to put the time in to make that relationship work.
So did she break up with you or you broke up with her?
I think it was kind of a mutual thing.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Do you have a lady in your life?
Not now. I was engaged
No.
twice, but I do have a son and grandkids and great grandkids.
Okay.
I did it the black way. I made them out of wedlock.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of white people doing that too.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that too bad?
I guess. I don't know. If it works for people, it works for people. I know I have a couple friends that do that co-parenting thing and they love it. They have the kid for a couple days a week and then their partner has them and they like the weekly vacation from the intensity.
But the kids suffer from it though, because kids love their fathers and fathers love their children and they love to be around their fathers when they're from house to house. The parents may feel good about it, but the kids are suffering from it.
Yeah, I think those are always like tough questions, right? It's like, that's a struggle. That's a complicated idea to deal with as a kid, that your parents aren't together anymore. But the flip side can be pretty bad too. If you're living in a house that's full of anger and violence, worst case scenario, that can fuck a kid up pretty bad too.
Yeah. Are you surprised?
So that's like a tough fit. Yeah.
Are you surprised at how violent women are today toward men? And they slap men, they curse them out, they want to control.
Dude, who are you hanging out with? You getting your ass kicked by women all over the place? What's going on?
No, but are you surprised how violent they are toward men? And then they lie and say the man is the violent one?
I mean, you think that's happening a lot?
A lot, 99% of the time.
99% of the time?
Yeah.
What were your two engagements like when you were engaged with your women? Were they slapping you? Were they hitting you? Were they?
No, I would never allow that. Ain't no way they're gonna slap me.
Now you got a good. You got a good block.
They wouldn't even
Blocking
raise their hand. They wouldn't even think about it because they know.
Why not?
They know I wouldn't put up with it.
So you got the 0.1%.
Yes.
You found them,
Yes.
and it didn't work out.
Because once I became engaged, they tried to control me. You know how women love to control, and I wasn't going to let that happen.
Now,
You know what I mean?
what were you doing that they were like, don't do that anymore?
They didn't like it when I would be around other women, or they'd be jealous, or they gossip and mess like, you know how women are.
They weren't jealous before you guys were
Right.
engaged?
Yeah.
They'd be
Well,
like, hey, you
they
do
may
you.
have been, but they didn't show it. Until, once they got you, they think now they can, the real person comes out instead of that phony woman that you're dating, right? When they get you, you see the real person. That's when the
Yeah.
hell starts.
Yeah. How long did you guys date before you got engaged?
7 years. And then,
You did for 7 years.
yeah, and then
That's impressive.
one for about 3 years, I think.
Okay.
But let me ask,
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you a Christian?
No, I grew up Catholic.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
You don't like the Catholics?
No, I like them.
Yeah. You're sorry to hear that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Pope is
The Pope is what?
tick. He pissed off.
the Pope's sick? What's
So-
he pissed about? I haven't been keeping up with the Pope. What's the Pope pissed about?
One time he was out greeting the people in some country,
Oh yes.
and this one woman tried to touch him, and she was like,
I think that was the Vatican.
"Get your hand off
Yeah.
me, bitch!" Well, he didn't say.
Well, she was hanging on to him.
Right.
He's got other people to.
Well,
to
he
bless.
didn't say bitch, but it looked like he was thinking bitch.
Yeah, he was feeling it. Yeah.
So let me ask. So did you grow up with both parents?
Yeah.
And who are you closer to, your mother or your father?
I think my dad.
Good.
Pretty close with my mom too.
Were you
Just,
blessed
yeah.
you were closer to your father?
Yeah. Why is that?
Because if you had been closer to your mother, you'd be emotional just like her.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you ever
That
thought
might
about
do me
that?
some good. Not really. I don't know. I think, I wasn't the best kid growing up. So I think my dad saw a little bit more of his character flaws, if you want to call me. I guess he related to maybe who I was a little bit more than my mom could. My mom's pretty dialed in. She's got her shit together. And that was not me. So I think there was a struggle there for sure. But
When you were
we're still
growing
very
up,
close.
when you were growing up, and your mother would try to control you or be demanding or too mothery, and you would go to your father to tell her to back off, would he tell her to back off you?
No. They were the stuff that they wanted me to do, I think they were right about. This was stuff just like get to class, do your work, show up, don't be late kind of stuff. Don't be going out getting hammered. You know what I mean? Just little like the way that you're being a jackass in high school. They were on the same page, and I think they were objectively right about some of the stuff that I needed to stop doing. But other than that, they were pretty relaxed parents. I got to be honest. They kind of let me do my thing
So he never,
as much as they could.
he never protected you from her.
I guess there were some times where she was meting out some punishments, and he may have softened the blows a little bit, but it was, like I said, I wasn't like a really bad kid. The ways in which I was screwing up were kind of objectively things that I needed to stop doing. So there wasn't really like when it came to being like, you need to change this or you need to do this. They were pretty much on the same page.
So what was causing you to screw up when you were screwing up?
You know what? I just I never liked school.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, why is that?
'Cause if you notice, the people who love school are screwed up.
You think so?
Yeah, it's the ones who didn't like school that are doing well.
Yeah, I don't know. You were like an academic kid?
No, I didn't hate school, but I didn't like school. I just like having fun at school.
Yeah, I wanted to like talk to my friends and hang out, and I was always exhausted. School started at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
You're playing like sports after school, doing homework and stuff, trying to do homework and mostly just fucking off. But like I was exhausted all the time. I remember like sleeping in class and stuff like that. I just never and just the idea that they wanted to hear my take on, the Russian Revolution or something like that. It's like, why do you care? I'm 16. Do you really give a shit?
That's right. Amazing.
You need this? Yeah.
So, Chris, what do you think about the attack on white Christian males today?
You think there's an attack?
You don't know that there's an attack on white men?
No, who's getting attacked?
Oh, did you say no, it's not happening?
No, yeah, in what way? Yeah.
So you really don't see white Christian men, all men are under attack, really, but you don't see white Christian men under attack?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's kind of like, I feel like everyone feels like they're under attack these days. You know, I think we're just in sort of like a volatile time. And it's like I hear people saying stuff about, you know, straight white guys and stuff and us being the source of all evil. But I think it just feels like a growing pain that we're going through.
They teaching it in the schools, critical race theory. They're blaming white people for everything. They take no responsibility for themselves. Are you okay with that?
I just don't think that that's everyone's opinion. I feel like the people pushing those ideas are in minorities on both sides. And I think eventually cooler heads will prevail.
So right now you're okay with white men being under attack and blamed for everything?
I mean, I guess I'm not okay with it, but I'm not that worried about it. I feel like white dudes were still doing pretty good.
Nice.
I think we're going to be all right. Yeah.
I hope so.
Are you worried about us?
I'm very concerned. And my concern is that if white men don't start standing up and speaking up and getting involved, that they're going to allow the people of color to turn America into a ghetto.
You think so?
Look what's happening. You don't see every time, especially with the blacks, every time they take over, they turn it into a ghetto.
I don't think so. Walk me through that. What are you talking about?
Do you live in America?
Yeah.
You do?
I live in New York. Yeah.
Oh, my God. They have literally turned New York into a hell state.
No, New York.
Especially New York City.
Love it here, man.
You love the hell that you live in?
Yeah, man.
Really?
This is great. Yeah.
Why do you love the hell you live in?
It's awesome. I like New York. I spent most of my life in Philly, but my parents are from New York. I grew up outside of New York. And I've only been living here for like 2 years, but I like it, man. I like being in this environment. It feels like I'm in Queens. It feels a little bit like Philly. I like seeing the people. I like, it doesn't feel dangerous to me.
So you love walking down the street knowing that some black guy may walk up behind you and rob you?
I guess I don't think about it.
Or sitting at a cafe?
I've walked through terrible neighborhoods in Philly. I've walked through nice neighborhoods in Philly. I've never been worried about getting mugged. I don't know. It's never been a problem. Are
you like a big guy or something? Is that why you're not worried?
No, I'm not a big guy.
Are you intimidating when you walk?
Like just enough. There's no way that could be true, but nobody messes with me.
So what do you think about in America today? Most black people are out of control. Not all, but most. They're angry, they're violent, they're robbing and raping and carjacking and they brought they brought an insurrection upon America under this Black Lives Matter thing, tore down statues and monuments and set businesses on fire and tore down the amazing statue and put a thug like George Floyd up, an unemployed drug addict with a criminal record. They made him the hero. You don't think the blacks are out of control by doing all those things?
No. I mean, I guess it just feels like an uncomfortable statement. I feel like everyone's kind of out of control. I mean, the pandemic was a stressful situation.
But how about blacks?
I just feel like people are pissed off. What?
But how about black killing cops and killing one another?
I guess it just doesn't. What?
It doesn't
feel like just a black thing to me, I guess.
Who else is doing it?
I feel like everyone's getting involved.
But
we got some white boys getting in there and fucking some stuff up there too.
but who's leading the way of all the races in America? Who is leading the way to destruction? Which race?
I don't know. I think
What?
I don't see. I guess I just don't see things in those terms. I feel like we're America. It's up to us, all of us, to figure this shit out. We can squabble over, all kinds of stuff that I think impede our ability to improve our situation, or, we can start to come together. But I think we're just in that phase. I think every country is going to have to deal with it at some point, where they're just reckoning with a history. People are frustrated about their lives and opportunities, and I think there's just a lot of like existential angst out there, and I think everyone kind of feels it.
But
and I think that's where the tension comes from.
But we have given the blacks everything they asked for the last 70 years. And they only gotten worse instead of getting better. When would enough be enough for the blacks?
I don't know. I think that's a pretty complicated and dynamic situation. What do you mean they got everything that they asked for?
Back during the so-called civil rights movement, we allowed them to go into the white cafes, go to the white schools, live in the white communities, and we thought that was going to be enough. And then we gave them welfare. They said, okay, to the blacks, we told them, you can have welfare, but you can't have a man in the home. And they said, okay to that. And then they wanted affirmative action. We gave them affirmative action. Then the black men wanted the white women. So we gave them the white women.
Jesus Christ. Dude, holy shit.
And then they wanted the blacks to run the government. We gave them Barack Obama. And then they wanted black people to be in our other government. And everything just going to hell in a handbasket. And now they want reparation. So? We're giving them, in some cities, a couple cities here in this country, we're giving them reparation. Chris, when would enough be enough for the blacks? When would they stop it? When would they say, okay, white people, we had enough?
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the premise of the question. But I guess I feel like if there was a community that was struggling, white or black, and I think there's tons of white communities that are struggling too. Don't you feel like as a nation we have an obligation to those communities that are struggling to help them out in some way?
No.
Now, what the shape of that help?
We've already helped the blacks. They only got worse. When you help people the wrong way, they get worse.
What about rural white communities? They're struggling too. They're falling apart. They're getting worse. What do we do about that?
Because they're starting to act like the blacks. They're having children out of wedlock. They're dancing and singing, and they're doing
the
nothing.
The black community falling apart is black people's fault, and the white community falling apart is black people's fault too.
No, it's because they're acting like the blacks. If they were to, what? So you say you disagree with the premises that we're giving the blacks everything. What part of that you disagree with?
Yeah.
Did we give them affirmative action?
We did.
Did we let them into black universities by lowering the standard?
I feel like what?
Did we let them into white universities by lowering the standards?
A tough one. Well, here's my feeling about affirmative action, I guess. And this is also like, I'm a comedian. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I don't know what you were hoping to get out of this interview. I don't know if I'm not going to have any policy prescriptions. That's for sure. But I feel like affirmative action is a little bit of like a stopgap measure in the sense that like it's sort of in place of making like real investments in the education of minorities. So black people suffered for a really long time and weren't getting the sort of access to education that they needed. Now you kind of have two options, right? You can make a massive investment into trying to right that wrong, or you can give them a couple extra points on their college application. I think the affirmative action was kind of the easy way out. And then it becomes obviously like a messy thing, right? Where it's like, of course, it seems kind of unfair and weird because it was sort of the easy way out. Again, that's how I feel about it. I'm not, I don't know anything.
Why were the blacks doing better prior to the civil rights movement in education and everything, and became worse once the civil rights movement happened? Why were they doing better before that, and now they're doing worse?
I don't know.
Have you ever wondered about that?
I haven't put too much thought into it. No.
Do you have white guilt?
What do you think? What do you think the explanation is?
No fathers, angry mothers, and too much government in their lives.
Okay. And why do you think that happened to like some rural white communities? Same thing?
Yes. You have to destroy the family by destroying the man, then you take over the women and children, and the rest is easy. But let me ask, do you have white guilt?
What? Do I?
Uh-huh.
I don't think so.
Are you afraid of black people?
No.
Are you able to be honest with them? Are you able to be honest with them about the way they are?
What does that mean? I mean, I'm honest with them. I don't feel like when I'm around black people, I'm being dishonest.
So if they call you racist,
do you feel like you can?
If they call you racist, and they say you're to blame, it's slavery, it's Jim Crow, it's this, would you tell them they're lying? They had their own problems that had nothing to do with the past?
Yeah, but I don't run into that much, to be honest.
Oh, you don't hang around with them?
Yeah, I guess I just don't see it that much. I see it online a ton.
Right.
And that you get fired up. But I don't know. In my day-to-day interactions, and I interact with a decent amount of black people. I don't really, that never really comes up.
Do you love white people?
Yeah. Yeah, my parents are white. My brother's white.
What is a man?
What?
What is a man?
What is a man? How do you mean it? Like, talking about like a good man? What is a good man?
No, what is a man?
I don't know. I guess just a guy with an X and a Y chromosome. I don't know. I don't know.
So
Are you looking for like a biological definition or
no,
what?
just what is a man?
Yeah, I don't know. An adult, an adult man. I don't know.
Do you have love?
I think so.
And what is love?
Could use some more of it.
You can use more love?
I think so, yeah.
So you don't have enough love?
I don't think so.
What is
Can
love?
you ever? What?
What is love?
I think love is sort of I think it's caring about someone or having someone care about you that's like unconditional. You know, you kind of like, the worst things about each other and it's okay. Then I think that sort of like openness.
And why do you think that that's love?
These answers suck. What? Why do I think that this? It's like, what is love? What is a man? Jesus, dude. I got no idea.
Oh, amazing.
There's got to be someone who's got a good answer for that. I don't have it.
Do you have anger?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I think so.
And how did you develop anger? Where did that come from?
Child of New Yorkers. It's kind of comes with the operating system.
Is it normal to have anger?
I think it's healthy sometimes.
Healthy in what way?
It's an outlet.
A
A lot of
outlet?
my anger isn't like directed at people, I don't think, but I just have anger. I get frustrated,
And do you
Like,
like
if
having
if the
anger?
car's moving and I can't, what? Yeah.
You said car moving and what?
when the car's moving and you're trying to connect your phone to the Bluetooth and it won't, that kind of stuff drives me nuts. Yeah. that I get pretty pissed.
And so do you like having anger?
Yeah. I don't know. That was the environment of my family where it was like, look, there was real times when people were pissed off, but there was also a fun in the anger. There was comedy in the anger. You were kind of just letting off steam, and nobody took it like personal.
Right. Amazing. So Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle were attacked on stage while performing. Are you ever
Yeah.
concerned that will happen to you?
Nah, not really.
Were you surprised that happened with them?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, me too.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
So how do you think we got to the point where people would literally come up on stage and try to hurt you because they disagree with you?
I don't know. I mean, you can go back through tons of old stand-up videos where people get on stage and attack people. I don't think it's anything new.
Oh,
I think it's just those are people with egos. Look, the Chris Rock thing, that was new.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it's, I guess I just don't feel like there's really like some broader implication from those events about what's going on with us as a society. I just think it's, some people are crazy and they got big egos and they think they can do stuff that's inappropriate, and they do it.
so do you know if people like Richard Pryor and other comedians who've gone on, were they ever attacked on stage? Do you know of any?
I don't know if Richard Pryor was ever attacked on stage.
Bill Cosby and all
but-
those guys.
No, I'm trying to think of he's like a famous comic and I can't remember his name. He died young. But there's footage of him screaming at a guy and a guy getting up, and this was back in the 80s. There's footage of someone getting up there and attacking him
Oh, yeah?
about it. I remember there was like some guitar comic, I remember seeing from the 90s who smashed a guitar over somebody or something like that. I mean, yeah, it's you get into that room and, comics have the ability, they run their mouths a little bit and they get after people, and in like an intimate environment sometimes, people think that, it's okay to, again, I just think it's these egos,
Yeah,
someone
it is
can't take a
egos.
joke. Someone thinks that they just can't walk away from a performance. They got to go up there and get involved.
Now that Will Smith had proven to be an angry, out of control man by attacking Chris,
Dude,
by attacking Chris
you
Rock.
write some of the best questions.
So what?
You write. I said you write some of the best questions.
Thank you. Now that you've seen what Will Smith is up to, would you ever be comfortable doing a stand-up session with Will Smith in the building?
Yeah, I think I'd be all right. But I don't know what's going on with that guy. I don't know. He's always the Scientology thing is weird. He's always seemed like a little bit out there. I don't know what's going on with him and Jada, but it doesn't look good.
I know, man.
Doesn't
What a
look
mess.
good. But they're actors. That's what actors do.
Oh, they act crazy?
Yeah, I think they're all a little bit like unhinged. In my experience, I don't know. I don't know about you.
So, no, you're right. Do you love your insanity?
Do I love my insanity?
Right.
You calling me insane?
No, I'm just asking, do you love it?
Do I love insanity just in general?
In general and within yourself too. Because anyone who has anger is insane.
Why? You don't have anger?
No,
You have no anger.
zero anger.
What about towards the women that tricked you for 7 years
No.
into thinking that they were chill and wanted to let you do whatever you want and then switch the moment you put a ring on it? No anger?
Back then, I had
wasted
anger.
7 years of your life on this lady?
Back then,
That
I had
piss
anger.
you off at all?
Back then, I had anger because I didn't understand that you can overcome anger, right? But since understanding that you can overcome it is an abnormal way of living, I was able to, with the help of God, overcome the spirit of anger. And so he took that identity away from me, and I no longer have it.
You just never get angry.
So far, in the last 32 years, I have not.
32 years, no anger.
No anger. And I dealt with a
Really?
whole lot of mess.
From the anger before those 32
The
years.
anger of other people, yeah.
Or you're dealing with a whole lot of mess now.
Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of
Doesn't
mess
get you
over the
mad?
last 32 years.
What do you feel inside?
Nothing.
Someone cuts you off in traffic. What do you feel? Nothing. Just empty
Zero.
nothingness.
Right.
You just
Right.
not happiness. You're not. So what are you just moving through the day? Just no feelings of any kind.
Thank God I moved through the day with total peace.
You go to get a coffee, person in front of you orders a complicated drink, and you're late. You just even keel, just relaxed.
Absolutely.
You just
And yet I deal
nothing
with
bothers you.
I deal with situations so far, but I don't get angry about the situation.
You should get pissed off. It's fun.
No, I
You
used
haven't been pissed off in 32 years. You got to go on like a retreat or something, and where you can just break shit or yell at people. I don't know.
used to be that way, so I know the insanity of anger. I know people who are angry, they have fear, they have doubt, they worry, they stressed out, they are looking for love, they are insecure, they live in their imagination because of the spirit of anger.
No. Did you ever play sports?
I did. When I was in high school, I played a little basketball, but I ran track.
Did you ever play with someone who, like, when they got pissed off, got way better? Their anger focused them. It made them just quicker, faster, stronger. It
Right.
just dialed
I'm
them in.
sure
That's
I'm sure
good
I
anger.
have.
That's good. That's motivated anger.
But once they got
I was, on the other hand, I didn't have that. If someone got in my head or pissed me off in a game, I went to pieces, man. I would spaz. But I was always jealous of those guys who had, like, their anger just focused them in. I
But
was
you
always
notice,
jealous of
though,
those guys.
if
I
you
didn't
notice,
have
once they got better at the sport using the anger, they were still miserable being better. They still was insane.
that. Oh, no, they liked it. They liked it.
They loved their insanity.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is there's insanity anger, right? There's throwing stuff around the apartment. There's breaking glasses and TVs and stuff. That's a bad, insane anger. But then there's also stuff that just puts a chip on your shoulder, pisses you off, and focuses you in the right direction. And it's fuel for the fire. That stuff is good.
So you
don't
don't
have
think
any of that in your life? You've never gotten pissed off and then had it drive you to do something?
prior
That's like
to
the best- one
overcoming
of the best feelings.
prior to overcoming the anger, that happened. But I would get what I wanted, but I was still miserable until I was able to overcome the spirit of anger, because anger is evil, and no one finds peace in anger.
I don't know. I don't think anger is evil. Why? How is anger evil? I feel like actions are evil. Ideas, I feel like, can be evil in some ways.
But it's the anger that causes you to take the action.
Anger is just. Well, that's up to you. You still have a choice after you feel the anger. You feel the anger first, and then you decide what to do with it.
So
Right.
let me ask you this because of time here. I'm looking at the clock. Do you create your own thoughts?
Do I create my own thoughts? No, I feel like the thoughts come. My brain makes suggestions, and I I pick the ones I focus on.
Well, why do you pick the bad ones at time?
Because they're too hard to resist. You know, it's like piece of cake or something like that. It's like I know I shouldn't eat it, but it looks so fucking good. You know, sometimes there's just moments where you want to indulge in just a terrible thought because it seems like fun.
And so
So you just spend a little time there.
your brain create bad thoughts.
Yeah.
And how
You're
does it do
done.
that?
I don't know how it does it, but it's pretty good at it.
Are you happy when it does it?
Sometimes it's a funny idea. But then there's other times, where it's like, I don't want to be thinking about that. You're focusing on negative things. It can take over your life if you spend too much time thinking negatively, for sure.
And so what do you do when that
Try
happens?
to see the best in people.
What do you do
What do
when
I
that
do?
happens?
I take a couple deep breaths, maybe try to meditate a little bit, clear your head.
Amazing. So I got to ask.
It's a miracle of meditation.
I say that all thoughts are all lies all the time. No such thing as a true thought. Am I wrong?
There's no such thing as a true thought. How? What do you mean by that?
That there is no such thing as a true thought. All
Yeah,
thoughts are lies all the time.
Every single thought.
Except for practical thoughts like I got to go to work, I got to eat a dinner or breakfast, or drive my car for some gas. Those are practical thoughts. But every other thought is a lie. It's a setup.
But you don't need to go to work, and you don't need to put gas in the car.
Are you black or
Aren't
something? Yes, I
those
do.
lies too? What separates those ideas from the other ideas?
Well,
Why are all the other ideas lies? Give me an example of an idea that someone would think is true, but is actually a lie.
when they are feeling happy, they think that's good. And the moment they are feeling happy, they fall down. They start to feel bad. And when they're feeling bad, they think that's bad. And so they find something to make them feel good. And they feel good. And then they think that's good when that's really bad. That's evil too. And then
Wait.
So they're up and down emotionally.
So where do you want to be? Just no emotions of any kind. Happiness, bad. You said, right? Happiness is bad.
Happiness is a phony happiness. It's evil and not really happiness. That's why it builds.
Happiness is evil.
Yeah, you know how it builds you up. You feel happy, right?
Yeah.
And then you can have one thought about the past or the future. Now you feel it down again.
No, I think you can enjoy the moment.
And then
See, that's your brain messing with you, man. You don't have to indulge. You don't have to indulge those thoughts. You're looking at a nice sunset. You can feel happy, and you can just live in that.
But when the
moment
sun
for a
goes
while.
down, you feel it bad again.
I don't know. I think you can appreciate. That's the beauty of life too. Is that
So why do
nothing
you
lasts
think
forever.
you're up? If that's true, why are you up and down emotionally?
Why am I up and down emotionally?
Yes.
I don't know. The world's complicated
But what does it
Right.
have to do with you?
because I'm interacting with the world. I'm engaging the world, and sometimes the world's confusing. Sometimes the world feels like it's conspiring against you. Sometimes it feels like the whole world is on your side. It's like, so you ride that roller coaster, and you do your best to keep an even keel and settle down. Obviously you don't want to be just being ripped back and forth in any direction. But life's messy. sometimes you got to engage with the messiness, and that means you're gonna have feelings.
When
You have no feelings of any kind. Is this what you're saying to me?
I'm sorry?
You're saying you have no emotions whatsoever.
If I
You
were
don't
to
feel sad.
allow the thoughts to take over, I would be into that emotional crap. But since
So you just have no thoughts?
They do
your
come.
self?
They do come, but I know that they're not my thoughts, right? So I just let them pass.
Whose thoughts are they?
They're from the devil.
You got the devil in your head.
Every human being that has anger, they are being controlled by the devil, but they think that it's them when it's really not them. They have identified with it, so they think it's them, but it's the devil
What's God's
controlling
emotion?
them.
Which one does God have?
God,
Happiness? Or
God
no, you
has
said that's the devil too.
no. God has a knowing. He is the light, and so He has peace. He's never caused you to allow you to. He never caused you to become angry, but He always give you perfect peace.
Peace without happiness.
Happiness is phony. Peace is everlasting. It's real. And it's not based on anything or anyone. It's not based on what you have or don't have. It's not based on this false image you have of yourself.
Right.
Isn't that
But
true?
peace is not phony. What
Right.
about if you're at peace?
Peace is not
That's not a
phony,
phony.
but this false happiness is phony. That's why it doesn't last.
But if you're at peace when you're really angry, isn't that phony?
You can't be at peace and be angry too. No one who has anger is at peace.
I know, but sometimes you have those feelings. You've never been frustrated. When they were setting up the audio for this, you got a little frustrated.
No, I did
Saw
not
it in
at
your
all.
face. I saw it, Jesse.
No,
Don't lie.
I said, hey,
got a
get the
little
thing right,
frustrated.
but I wasn't mad about it.
You went, yeah. You said, hey, get it right. And you went,
But I wasn't
you had a
angry.
feeling. Jesse, sometimes we have some feelings, and that's okay.
But if you overcome the anger,
Sometimes when there's a tech issue, you get pissed off. That's
not
all
if
right.
you if you didn't
It's
have
fun.
anger, you would not. That wouldn't happen to you. Really, I'm telling you, it would not happen. You still can express yourself. You can speak up, but you won't feel anything about it on the inside.
That sounds terrible, man. I like feeling stuff.
That's why I asked you, did you love your hell, your insanity?
I guess feeling nothing sounds like hell to me.
Really? I can understand, man. I
I'll ride
understand.
the roller coaster, man. I don't want to just stand on one of those, those flat escalators they have in airports. You just ride. That sucks. Get pissed. Get sad.
I understand why.
happy,
I totally understand why you said that, because most people think that that's who they are. They think that's normal. They think that is their identity, and they will kill you before they let you take that away from them. They have identified with it as themselves, and they do not want to let it go. They hold on to it for dear life. So I totally understand.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing, right? It's
Yeah.
a tricky thing change can be.
Yeah, and it's not
Because it's
you.
important to change, but I don't know, you change too much. You don't want to lose who you are. What about
But
would
you're
you
not. See,
exercise?
that's the problem, Chris. It's not you, but you think that is you because you have identified when you were traumatized by your mother. You identify with it as you.
Yeah. I guess
Chris,
I do.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. I mean, you're getting into like really complicated philosophical things. Who are you really? It's a really challenging question. Obviously, though, your whole life you're faced with these many different choices. Every second you got a choice you can make, right? And those choices that you make, you're like, is that really who I am? Was it because I didn't eat breakfast that morning, or I was hungover, or like those are all. Who are you really is a big question.
And that's what
but I
you
don't
should
think
be.
I would ever want it to be someone who doesn't feel anything.
Right, because you think it's you. You think it's normal to feel that way. You have identified with it as you. And so you do not want to lose that. You want to hold on to that. And the idea of it not being you, even though it's not good being that way, or you don't really.
No, it is good.
So you really
Turn
love
it
your
into a
hell.
career.
You love
Yep.
your insanity, huh?
I guess it just doesn't feel like hell to me.
And so you think
love your hell? Do
I
you
know
love
what
your
you're
hell?
saying, man. You think that's life. It just feels good. You feel alive, huh?
No. Sometimes it's sad. It's like you ever exercise? Do you work out at all?
I do, man.
You ever go really hard and you feel like the pain,
Yes.
the exhaustion,
Yes.
the agony?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
It's-
like, I don't love that feeling, but I do, it means I'm putting work in. It's a byproduct of living life and exerting yourself. So I don't mind it.
And so you
Same
think,
way happiness and anger is just, look, you got to control it. You got to manage it, but it's a byproduct of living in the world, and I don't mind it.
do you think that you can control that?
Yeah.
Or why don't you control
Yeah.
it?
I don't have like, what?
Why haven't you controlled it before?
Well, I don't have like out of control anger. I'm not like punching people or spazzing on. I vent heat every now and again. It feels good to get mad.
Well, I feel alive, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing. I totally understand that.
Amazing.
Chris, real fast because of time, buddy. Do you believe racism exists?
Yeah, I think so.
And why?
I think people have, I feel like people make generalizations. They make all kinds of different types of generalizations. And one of the ways in which people generalize other people is by race.
You give me, so that's your proof that racism exists?
No, I think that it does. I mean, I've seen it, obviously.
You
I've
saw
heard it.
racism? You've seen racism before?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
Do you want me to repeat the words? I think you know what it looks like.
No, I don't, because it doesn't exist. It has never existed.
It's never existed.
No.
Really? You don't think anyone's ever had a negative opinion of an entire group of people based on race?
Yeah, but that was hatred. That's not race. And
Well, it's race-based.
I know that
hatred.
the world have a bad impression of blacks before now, and I totally understand it, because the blacks are out of control. They're robbing, stealing, and killing, and blaming, and begging, and whining, and
This is how you want to end the show? You're gonna do this soliloquy again?
and all that. So it's hard for them to know the good blacks from the bad one, because so many of them are out of control. But there's
Hard
no
to know the
such
good
thing as
whites from the bad
racism.
ones,
It's
too.
a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. It has nothing to do with color.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
It has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with right.
What has nothing to do? What has nothing to do?
It has
What is-
everything to do with right versus wrong, good versus evil.
What does?
This battle between human beings.
Yeah, but in that battle, there's many different fronts in the battle. There's many different types of conflicts. And there's a lot of different kinds of bad ideas out there. And one of them is racism.
It doesn't exist, Chris. It's a made-up word to intimidate white people.
Why?
It's-
Why? It doesn't have to just be racism. Can be, it's one race against another race. It doesn't. In some cases, it doesn't even have to involve white people.
So do you agree with me that blacks, if racism exists, it doesn't, but are the blacks racist toward whites?
Wait, what?
Are the blacks racist toward whites?
There are black people that are racist towards white people, for sure.
Nice. Chris, real fast, did you vote for the Great White Hope?
I did not.
Why not?
I thought he was a little crazy.
In what? Give me a quick example.
He doesn't have control of his emotions like you've been talking about.
But you think emotion is good? You should have been the first in line with him.
I thought he was the funniest dude.
But did you vote for the fallen Messiah?
Genuinely, what?
Did you vote for the fallen Messiah?
No. I got to be honest. I didn't love the guy.
Who was the fallen Messiah?
Who was the Messiah?
The fallen Messiah that I asked you, did you vote for?
I'm assuming you mean that's Trump.
No, the fallen Messiah is Barack Obama, man.
Oh, I did vote for Obama. Yeah.
What the?
Whole was that anger? Did you just have anger there, Jesse?
You must have been
Jesse,
afraid.
what's going on with your eyebrows? You're feeling stuff.
Did you vote out of fear
You're
of
feeling
not
a
voting
bunch
for
of
him?
stuff. What?
Did you vote for Obama out of fear of not voting for him?
No, I bought in, man. I thought he was going to do some really transformative stuff.
And are you disappointed that he didn't?
Yeah. I think he could have done more.
Did you
But
vote for him
again,
twice?
I did.
What a beta.
That's beta stuff.
Yeah.
Voting for Obama?
What?
Come on, man. Obama's the man. You don't
Obama's
like
what?
Obama? He's the man.
He's
alpha,
what?
dude. You don't think Obama's alpha?
You about to make me curse.
Are you feeling angry?
Controversial.
Oh.
You're talking about illegal immigration. I said, it's illegal.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah, that's your boy.
The Great White Hope. Chris, I got to heat this interview up. I got to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, God. Well, I thought we were done.
I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
The hot seat.
Do we need more white babies?
Sure.
5 years ago, I founded the July as White History Month. We celebrate every July as White History Month because July just feels white. Will you celebrate? Will you celebrate White History Month?
I like the pizzazz you gave that.
Doesn't July feels white?
July just feels white. I don't know.
Will you
I
celebrate?
always get tan in July. That's not good.
Will you celebrate White History Month with me next year?
Yeah. What do you got? You got a parade or anything?
Not yet, but we're working on it. Can a man ever be too old for video games?
I don't think so.
Are UFOs real?
I think so. Yeah.
True or false? Abortion is worse than slavery.
Oh, Jesus. That's I might have to pass on that one.
Did we ever go to the moon?
Yeah.
Is the Earth flat?
No.
Does the chicken have lips?
That is interesting. I guess not, right? Lips got to be fleshy, right? they just got a bone for a face.
Was the Black Lives Matter started by a bunch of fat black radical lesbians?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the origin story.
Is America the
What's
best
canon?
country? Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
Sure. Yeah.
Who would you rather see as president? Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Big Mama Michelle Obama, or Hunter Biden?
Yeah, not a big fan of any of those guys, but boy, the way things are going, why not give Hunter Biden a crack at it, man? Let him see what let him see what he wants to do. That would be a fun ride. That would be a fun ride, man. He'd drop him with hookers and stuff in the White House. I mean, nuts.
Did the cow eat the cabbage?
Did the cow eat the cabbage? I have no idea. Are these with nursery rhymes?
Did you have fun?
I did. I had a fun time.
Thank you for taking the hot seat, man, and thanks for coming on.
Did you have fun?
It was amazing.
So we'll commit to. Are you happy now? Are you happy? Feeling happy right now?
Oh, I'm filled with joy.
All right. Well,
Chris,
is that a lie?
tell the folks how to get your website and the stuff you're doing.
Check out Stuff Island on YouTube and iTunes and Spotify. It's everywhere. That's a podcast with me and my buddy Tommy Pope. I'm also doing a bunch of shows on the road. You can go to chrisoconnor.com. I got all my dates and stuff for stand-up. So check that out. Come to a show. Maybe laugh. I hope laughing's not evil, right? You can do that.
No, it's fun.
Okay, but that's evil.
As long as you don't get a sense of identity from it.
You are, I don't know, man. You are the most confusing dude on earth. What? Who are you when you go home at night? What are you doing? Like when you wake up in the morning, what's your morning routine?
I wake up at 3 a.m. because I do a radio show Monday through Fridays, and I need to be in the studio by 5.
Okay.
And so I get up and I have my silent prayer, and just kind of
like next to the bed. Next to the bed.
Well, sometimes I sit up and do it. Most of the time I lay down and do it, and then I get up and
lay down and pray.
And then I get up and get dressed and meet my producer at the radio studio to start the show around 6.
What are you doing? What's your breakfast like? You going eggs, bacon? What are you doing?
I don't eat breakfast.
You got coffee? You don't eat breakfast? No breakfast?
Because it's so early, I'm not hungry at that time of morning. And so I don't eat breakfast. Most of the time, right now, to be honest with you, most of the time I just have dinner. I don't even have lunch.
Really?
Yeah.
1 meal a day?
Right now. But that's not by... I didn't make the decision to do that. It's just the way my schedule is. In the morning, I'm not hungry for breakfast. At lunchtime, I'm not really hungry, and I don't have time to go eat anyway. And so I just have a nice little early dinner. And
do you go out? Do you go out to a restaurant for dinner, or you like just go home, microwave something?
I go home and I order something.
Okay. What do you like to order?
It all depends. Sometimes I like black people food. You know that soul food stuff.
Why you always got to make it weird somehow?
Because I'm messing with you. I'm just playing.
It's just like, dude.
But it all depends on what So what?
Okay. No. All depends on your appetite?
Yeah.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chris, I enjoyed talking to you, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
If you ever perform in LA, let me know. I'll bring a bunch of folks who will come and watch you.
I'd love you. I'll definitely let you know, man, for sure.
All right. Have a good one, and thanks again for coming on.
You too.
All right.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
And thank you, folks, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, ring the bell. Check out TheFallenState.tv on locals.com. Click the link in the video description, all right? Check out our merch, and let me hear from you, folks. Thank you for tuning in.